No, no voices yet.
fix that. Hello? Hello? Yeah, okay,
The
now
game
you
audio-
guys... Now you guys can actually hear me, even if it's a bit loud. Is the game audio too low, Mooney? Do you want me to fix it up a bit?
No, I think it's actually pretty good.
Okay, everything's
I think it's a
looking
little
good.
high, honestly.
Okay, let's lower that just a tad bit.
Alright, are we ready to begin?
Yep, it seems like we are. And if anyone's watching, welcome to the stream. Tonight we will be playing the Great Ace Attorney Adventure, a game that both Mooney, who's joining me on stream, and I love really much. We love the antics on this show. And
Absolutely, absolutely.
I hope that everyone who's watching will have a wild as ride as us, being as overdramatic as possible. Because that is the goal of today's stream. And we're gonna start with the new game. Mooney, feel free to interject at any time. I don't mind you saying anything.
I want to let the cutscene play out first, and then we can talk a little bit more about this game.
Brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some were swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Alright, that was awesome. Let's just introduce the game a little bit for the people who may not know what this is or what it's all about. This is one of the games that is in the kind of, I guess you could call it the Ace Attorney series. Phoenix Wright is a very popular character in that series, and people know this series for him. And this is kind of like a prequel, right? And it's an ancestor of Phoenix Wright. And this particular character is called Ryunosuke Naruhodo, if I'm not wrong.
Not at all, you're on point. Which is, I suppose a lot of people who watch anime can kind of guess what that name means. Like Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Hello, and hello to you too, Nemui. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, Nemui is a really big Ace Attorney friend that I happen to know, so I hope you enjoy our rendition of it. Alright, let's see. So, main character, Mikh'a, who's gonna take Ryunosuke?
Do you want, or if you prefer, I can do it myself.
Alright, go ahead. Perhaps I will go for some of the other ones.
Sure, okay.
Actually, you know what? I think you have a really calm and nice voice, so let's have you be Kazuma. I'll be this neurotic little ball.
Okay, sure, go ahead. And welcome to the stream, Zay.
And in case anybody's wondering, we'll be voicing all the dialogue, because that's fun. Let's go. Alright. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber... I'm good. Is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate.
Oh, okay, I see. No, it's one for comments. It's saying that it's still showing Resident Evil, which might be the case because I did not update the game. Monique, you can continue. I'll see if I can fix that in the meantime.
Alright, so this faceless character... What? Oh! No, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. You don't seem sorry, dude. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I am a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. Yume, like dreams? 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. For some reason, he has like a weirdly British accent in this game, so I'm going to try to go in for something like that.
By all means.
Now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. I think I'm hearing a little bit of echo on your end.
No, that's me.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep.
No, he's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. That would be your line.
And who are you?
Okay. Very angry, this bailiff.
Yep, he's a mad boy.
I'm this man's lawyer, and I'll be defending him today.
Alright. Lawyer?
Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue.
Yeah, technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet.
And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave.
Oof, burn.
Right, Ryunosuke?
Oh, yeah, yes, of course. Sorry.
What aren't you apologizing to me for?
Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this, I'm sorry.
There you go again, apologizing. Just like always.
Ah.
But,
Okay, I want to put this out there. I love the fact that Kazuma's little bandana thing just swings indoors, outdoors, wherever he is, even though his hair itself doesn't move. So I'm gonna say that it's moving by the power of justice. What do you think?
yeah, the game will kind of land shades it being because of Kazuma's spirit a bit later on. Okay, though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you?
Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone.
And there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up, hold your head high.
You mean...
I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke.
What a solid guy, this guy. Kazuma Ashogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he is far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He is even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate.
It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet.
You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes. That's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last.
I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court.
So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple, I'll say.
That's the lampshade. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes.
The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too.
Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's city of London together.
If only it were that simple.
Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer.
Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner.
I'm gonna say that in Japanese he probably said Aibo, right?
Yeah, that would be my guess too.
Yeah, I like this. It was straight after that. That's when it happened.
Do you want...
I'll go this. I'll go with this one. Ashogi, may I have a word? Let's see what kind of character this is before we. Oh, it's Susato's dad. Okay. All right, I got this.
Professor, I didn't know you were coming.
Well, this case has personal significance to me. Maybe too sinister? Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now, Ashogi.
Oh, that sounds a bit better.
You should go immediately to the judge's chambers.
To His Excellency's chambers? Why?
He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before.
I see. I'll go at once then.
I shall accompany you. I guess. Female voice, right?
Yep. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom.
Yes, thanks, Kazuma.
So guys, if you're hearing a weird crackling on stream, let me know, because my capture card tends to do weird things now and then. I can hear it, but I'm not sure if it's going to stream.
Indeed.
Looks like you were talking with yourself for a while.
Oh boy, that's fun. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikatoba. I am a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikatoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he was pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Ashogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Ashogi has been granted permission to go study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and will never be granted again. And never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Ashogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It is very difficult to persuade them to grant permission even in the most favorable circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then, what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so, as soon as the trial starts. The judge will pose a certain question to the defense. What happens? When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do. But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Oh, I guess that was his voice, my bad. Oh well. Of course not.
I mean, it kind of made sense there.
Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. These guys are from, like, these guys are devils, alright? Anyway. Oh, it would seem more surreptitious. Discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear?
Looking like a true villain.
Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Ah, see? This dialogue kind of suits this kind of ratty-ass voice. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over, and what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. Me and my one chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny.
How dramatic, this Ryunosuke.
Okay, before you proceed with this message, I mean this particular text, I want to say something, alright? So that was basically the prologue of this game, and already the stakes have gone from 0 to 100 in a few seconds, right? Like a guy about your main character about to be accused of murder, right? The best friend who wants to defend is going to lose his scholarship if he fails. This person now experiencing some pressure to take over as his own lawyer. Like, this game goes hard sometimes, a lot of the times, and I think like a lot of people who might not be familiar with this series severely underestimate how many twists and turns the story can have and how dramatic it can be for a game where people essentially just talk. Don't you think?
And that's why we kind of love it too, to be honest.
Absolutely. It's a wild game. Let's go. So this is a courtroom. Look at the difference. One guy so definitely has main character energy and the other one really doesn't.
But now the actual main character is the one who's actually freaking out. Nemo,
pretty much.
I've updated the text. I think it will show up in a few minutes. Probably because we're already on stream as this. Let's continue.
Thank you for the heads up, though.
Yes, we appreciate it. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power.
I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. They look like cops, yeah? Lots of military and other uniforms in there.
Yeah, they are. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial.
Oh, don't like that. A secret trial?
A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend.
What? But why?
It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin.
I really want to voice Ouchie, alright?
Alright, I guess I'll take the judge then. You're already doing a lot of voices.
I just really like this stupid character.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
Oh my god, that's so on point. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial?
Oh, that's the question. Let's go. This is it. This must be the question. Who is going to defend me? Is the question? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Answer I do. Let's go. This is a lawyer game. We're gonna lawyer.
Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for it. Yes, it is, Zaki. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst?
Nemui says, "Oh, that's so accurate. Thank you, Nemui." I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself.
You'll be what? Oh, that actually went by itself.
Yeah.
What are you playing at, Ryunosuke?
Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just now, before the trial.
He did what?
He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose.
How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off.
Oh, that's kind of sad. No, that's not it, really. It's just that... Well, on the one-off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you...
I kind of get the feeling that Kazuma was half teasing him too there. But he looks so serious. Yes.
I mean, he always does, though.
I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Alright, y'all, we're about to see somebody advocate for themselves. Well, does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his all counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Zaki on YouTube also commending your excellent Aoshi impersonation.
Thank you very much. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. You know, these guys freak out, the main characters, but I feel like Ryunosuke ends up being a pretty good lawyer at the end of the game, you know?
He does, that's true. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very
By the way, I feel like this guy
standards of
looks like
conduct-
Genghis Khan.
He kinda does, doesn't he?
Yeah, anyway, please continue.
Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean?
He's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
So, let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Oh, yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait.
I know you reacted to this earlier, but Ryunosuke's inner monologue is always funny.
Yes. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? This is basically the tutorial to teach the players how to do the various functions in the game, right?
Yep.
So you got like a list of individuals who are involved with the case that you can look through. You've got evidence that you can check out. You've got like various scenes, like crime scenes and places you can go to. It's a whole thing. Please continue.
Yep, and they're pretty much just gonna tell you everything at the moment now. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank.
This guy really is our best friend. He knows us so well. What? He just said the thing I said. That's wild. You know me so well.
All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that.
It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of R1. If you ever find you
Implying the
forget
existence
something,
of the R1 in the Phoenix Wright universe.
if you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. Yeah, it's funny with almost all tutorials. Like in JRPGs, people always mention buttons.
I think action RPGs have started doing it in context a bit better. Anyway, I have to press R1 for the court record. Alright, no time to lose. And then I press the R1 button of my inner self. This is a Kazuma dialogue.
Oh, it's me. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R1 again. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press circle to go back.
Okay, so we've got Kazuma, and...
So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Let me get back to you in that, because we'll have to present soon anyways.
Okay, sure, fair enough.
Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press triangle to present. Right now. Yeah, feel free to read everyone's profile if you want.
No, we don't have to read the whole thing, but basically we've got Kazuma, the best friend, a student, and we've got Mikatoba, a teacher, a teacher. We've got the next person, Ouchi, who is the prosecutor, who will be trying to find us guilty, and he's, oh boy, he's a tale and a half. Anyway, then we have the victim, John H. Wilson, a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. So this means that a Japanese man stands accused of killing a British man during this very politically unstable time. Yeah. So this guy is in actually a lot of trouble. I can see why it's a secret case.
Alright, I'll go ahead and present.
Yes!
Alright, go ahead. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Shush, shush. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally.
There it is.
And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been split on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides you your education. Have you no honor?
But I didn't do it.
This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter.
You're playing the wrong game, Judge.
In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you are a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime.
So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it?
Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman.
Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties don't make any difference to me here. For me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. I think this one's you.
Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. I'm just... Skewer? Yeah, we're not sure we can actually finish this case in one day either. But yeah, most cases finishes in 3 days for stuff like this.
Yeah, plus hey, it's all about the attempt and just to get more people to pay attention to Ace Attorney, because it is pretty cool. A friend of mine introduced it to me just about a couple of months ago and I've been hooked.
I'm not sure whether Skewer is referring to actual court cases here. Also, I think this is your line.
Alright, I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. In case you're wondering, dear viewers, why on earth this Japanese boy has an English accent, it's because in the cutscenes he does, and I don't know why, but I just decided to play along. I don't make the rules, I just live by them.
Right, good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Ivo. Buddy.
Oh, right in the feels. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. Oh no. I've seen that man at the university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't really know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table. And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death.
The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Oh, come on, man. You this panicked?
Inosuke, remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence.
You know what? As a person who has played a few more cases in this series now, like maybe, I don't know, 4 more, I'm gonna say that that is only true when it comes to the defendant in this kind of game. For me, at least. Like, the prosecution can make any kind of wild claims, like, yo, that stuff doesn't matter, that's not relevant evidence, and it could be, like, the most important thing. So it seems that evidence is only necessary for us, not the other side, but, I mean, okay, it's a video game, so I get it, but just putting that out there. Kazuma, maybe, you know, it's harder on this side than that side.
Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, I think we talked about this before, and I'm always under the impression they're doing it for the dramatic effect.
For sure. I don't think these things are meant to represent real court trials anyway. But still, like, it's very funny that they say, oh, evidence is so important, but we're the only ones who have to prove or disprove anything with evidence, you know?
Yep.
The other side can be like, oh yeah, nah, it's not worth looking into, and that's it, if they have their way.
Pretty much.
By evidence? But how?
Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and select present. Do it now.
Yep, that's the one.
Yes!
Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Let to read, you imbecile. That is the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report.
In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way.
Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
You know, I kind of wonder if they changed that translation just for the foreign audiences.
What do you mean?
The bit about autopsies not being done in Japan.
Oh, I see. I think it might actually be for modern Japanese audiences as well, because they wouldn't know perhaps that it became a thing at a certain point in time, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because they do that here. They do that over there now, I presume, because they do have the capacity for it. Okay, let's go. Ouchie.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern the scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, Consul. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record.
A black and white photograph, modern scientific evidence.
For them, I suppose at the time.
I know, I'm just teasing. Sir, that's a photographic print. Wow, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible.
And you know the funny thing is, most people will actually look at photographs today and not even think it's incredible.
Yeah, like, if you think about it, the fact that most of us are able to take HD photographs from our phones is something that people from the past would probably find super magical.
Yep. Hello, evil Ace. And yeah, Zaki, that's why you don't speak to your teachers outside of the classroom. Okay, so let me get back to the judge. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Oh, let's go. Oh my god, look at this.
Certainly, Your Excellency.
He's about to go into his Super Saiyan form, I guess.
With further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Ah, this is it then.
I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind.
The professor? You mean Dr. Mikatoba?
Yes. Clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant.
Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. These guys finding loopholes, huh? Sorry, go on. I thought it was one of mine.
Oh, good. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he?
Maybe. But any help you could give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma.
Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats.
If only you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Oof. Damn.
Imagine it.
Like, I thought it was Ace Attorney, not Savage Attorney. Damn.
Alright, we're starting the witnesses now.
Oh, this is exciting. Oh, it's this guy.
Do you want me to take a crack at it?
Witness? Please do.
State your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hasanaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival.
Oh my god, this guy's on death's door. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some,
It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
That's worse! You can see how that's worse, right, guy? Well, it really, really should.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
As everyone knows, The capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an occidental eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood. Osanaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident.
Oh, I want to say something, alright? In case the viewers don't know, you would notice that they're not calling each other Mr. Hosonaga or anything like that, but they're using the Japanese terms. And it is supposed to be a sign that currently the language being spoken is Japanese, that everybody, even though we see the English text, is speaking Japanese. And if they start saying, you know, Mr. Hosonaga, Mr. Naruhodo, that's a sign that they're doing English. It doesn't come as obviously in the English version of the game, but it is a thing to keep in mind.
True.
Especially for this particular case. Let's go on.
Yeah, I feel like we take that for granted these days now. At once.
Fair enough.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
You know, it almost feels like Oichi would actually stumble on his words.
I feel like that too. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? Funny man.
It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied.
This fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone in the place.
It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. Bang. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. Oh. While I did pick up a gun I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
Oh wait, you did say that.
That's why I said you sound so much on point, Ensue.
I believe I ask you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur.
But
The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Rinosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see in court today.
Yes, without question. I can't come up with
I see.
voice for Hosonaga.
maybe you should go for a way of speaking, you know, instead of a different voice, like a cadence thing.
Apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student.
Huh? What did he just say? Wait, what did he just say?
Trix asking why he's bleeding in the courtroom. That is a question, Trix.
Oh, Screwsta says, hang on, I'll read some text here. You have Trickster saying, cool art style, but the dialogue boxes could use some work. You know what? I agree with you. And maybe they'll allow us to change them out. You know, there are a bit of DLC out for the game. Who knows? Screwsta says, oh, they're speaking Japanese. And also notice that the prosecutor is named Ouchie. Yes, it's a joke, right? In case anybody doesn't know, a lot of Ace Attorney characters have, like, word jokes or puns as part of their name. So you might have like a really big buff guy whose name is Mael, Male Strongheart, you know, or prosecutor Ouchie, who might be related to or like an ancestor of an individual from the Phoenix Wright series called Prosecutor Payne. Payne, ouch, you know.
Yep. And we're
Anyway.
gonna see an example of that pun very, very soon. Oh,
Yes.
All right. Let me just continue here. What's the matter, Inosuke?
That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello. Oh-ho! There was a woman sitting opposite him at his table.
Really?
And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do?
We should wait and see, I think, for this one. We'll get our chance to grill this guy. What do you? I mean, you can, like, you know, give your own opinion. You don't have to just do the thing, but go on.
I desperately want to say something, blah, blah, blah.
If your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you?
One moment. I suppose I am. I'd have never gotten to Yume University otherwise.
But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty.
Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
So I guess we made the wrong choice there. Whoops. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but yeah, for the tutorial, it doesn't quite matter.
Yes!
This would be yours, Moony.
Alright, just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me! What are we going to do with you?
He's so smug.
With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud.
Oh, he feels like he'll win this.
Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw.
Osanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone.
I don't believe it.
Is he lying on the stand? What's happening right now?
I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Yeah, I think he may be lying. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well...
Oh, you don't like that, do you?
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now.
Something certainly seems to have shaken him.
Yeah, this guy looks like he has, you know, COVID-19 or something. What's happening? Also, please cough into your elbows, bro. Like, did you learn nothing? Also, wash your hands.
And leaving Hasanaga to cough for a bit. Is this game okay for the kids demographic? Yes, Trix, it's actually a very good game for the kids demographic because it's very family friendly.
Yes, I think that aside from the crime aspect of the story, you know, where like sometimes there are like murders and whatnot happening with premeditated crime, a lot of it is actually like how to say presented in a really wholesome, interesting, or fun way, right? There's not a lot of how to say very I don't know
Unsavory.
if unsavory themes, let's say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit cartoony, a little bit comical. It's like a fun version of really dramatic whodunit mysteries.
Pretty much, which is why I think it's for a young adult or kid that's not too small. I'd recommend it. So the waiter's card was added to the court record. We left the guy coughing, and not on his towel, like Skewer said.
Yep.
So, the court have now heard a praxis of the case.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume it's a lawyer thing.
Yes.
Any lawyers in the chat, just fill me in.
At the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. Aren't there some risky ladies? I don't think they are, actually. At least not too much. Oh wait, I think in the very first game there might have been a bit of a weird, risky character.
I'm talking specifically about the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, by the way, which are like these two prequel games, you know, with Mr. Naruhodo over there. Those games, as far as I've played up to second game case 3, which is like there are 5 cases, so I'm almost at the end. So I can say that so far it's just been fun murder mysteries rather than any really dark themes or anything like that, any messed up content, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's a very flirtatious character in the first game, but not what I would call kid friendly. So it would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
Heck no.
In other words, you may receive a small reprieve in the terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness to explain the details of this case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or the other, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? No, Ryunosuke, don't do it. Fight for your rights. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikatoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this.
As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it?
Damn, this guy really knows how to get a guy motivated. What?
If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke.
I love the way that he just turns around and says it, so it's super dramatic. Yes, let's go!
The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is.
Ooh, Kazuma really bringing the heat over here.
Indeed. And indeed to Kazuma bringing heat too. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with proceedings.
Well, You were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be.
I wonder who calls him a saint. I refuse to believe this. Ugh.
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever.
Ouchie, I don't know what to tell you, but the guy's already silenced from being dumbstruck. Anyway,
The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once.
another thing I really love about Ace Attorney games is that some of these witnesses can be really, really strange and how hilarious, let's say.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
They're definitely very unique. I'll take this character, I guess.
Can you take the other one? Because I'm already doing an oldish voice. I'd like to do this one.
Sure, okay.
The other guy looks like an old dude, and Ouchie kind of has an old guy voice, kind of, you know, from me.
I feel like
Anywho,
I can
I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Go for it. I want to hear what you sound like, and then I'll go for the other guy. Go for a different direction.
Alright. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Armed Insurgents. Yes, sir. No, sir. Reporting for duty, sir.
Oh, I love it. Okay, you should have gone. That was way better than what I was thinking.
Myself.
Let me see.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, you want to go? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Myself. I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the affluence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rosute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio corrupta at your service. Yeah, I'm just gonna take it. Yeah, okay, you got it immediately, right? So this guy's name is Curio correcta, and that is pretty much Curio collector, and he conducts trade from Rosute, which is rusty, I suppose. And you see,
and
you can take this one. I'm pretty sure you know Nosa's name as well, right?
how about you take that one? I was just gonna say something about curios in the sense that if anybody doesn't know what a curio is, it just means like some kind of odd antique or collectible or something like that, you know, like a strange vase or like an old painting.
Yeah.
The exact kind of stuff that this guy buys and sells.
Yep. I will explain it when we get to that character. As for now, an antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
There must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea at the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always past noon. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business.
I can't understand a word of what that old man is saying.
He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich clientele.
Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. More like he'd be a seller than a buyer.
No, you both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is this correct? Is that correct?
Affirmative! Okay, about Nosa. He introduces himself as Iesa Nosa, so and I think you guys can already hear it there.
Oh, I get it. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yes, exactly. It's basically yes, sir, no, sir. In his case.
Yes, sir, no, sir. That's so funny.
The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was a black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir.
This man's as impossible to understand as the other. Mikh'a, I also want to say that Skewerstar is talking, and it says that he's actually played all the DS Ace Attorney games, and you're totally right. It's always a murder charge that Phoenix has to deal with. Yeah, so far that this is my first Ace Attorney game in the series so far, this one and the one after that, right? And so far I must say these are usually murder charges, and on top of that it tends to be very varied in whether like the client is actually helpful or they actually sabotage the whole case so that you have to do all the work. Like it's a roller coaster, let's say that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know, here's another thing that's quite interesting about this series, in case some guys didn't know about it. This case, this game or series, as far as I can tell, has like a really comedic vibe to it, but at the same time, some things are taken super seriously, and it's usually you don't know what's gonna be taken seriously. Like for instance, in this particular case, the relationship between the British Empire and Japan is a serious enough political issue that this particular case is being kept secret, right? And suddenly that's kind of like real life. But at the same time, you have some really ridiculous stuff that happens in the story that is totally not realistic. Which is something we will be seeing as the case progresses as well. So I've found that it's the best way to do it is to just take everything at face value and be like, okay, that's how it is. Don't question it, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Also, Zaki on YouTube saying, yes, Nosa is the fun character, which is why I want to kind of voice him over.
I really love the twist about his character. I really did not see it coming until I saw it, okay?
Yep. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead.
Yes.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable?
If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Is this like a that's my secret cat moment?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir,
Well,
yes,
this is
sir.
fun.
Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon.
What the witnesses saw.
I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
This is technical discussion.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well,
This is one of yours.
so you, Sergeant Dosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. And Skewer, I've actually played this to the entirety, so I kind of know what's going on here. But we're both fresh on the end of the game. I'm not sure whether anyone has gone that far.
Hey, Skew, you seem to be a bit of a well-versed Ace Attorney individual, right? So I'll fill you in on how cross-examinations work a little bit in these games. It seems that you have not just one or two, but sometimes three, maybe even more, depending on the case.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, and one of the really fun things is that when you're like talking to one witness, another can have a reaction, so you can kind of capitalize on that and be like, "Hey, you got something to say?" And then the whole conversation becomes a whole thing. It's a really fun mechanic, and this is my introduction to the whole thing, so I'm really enjoying it.
You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That Vicar University cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assaulted in the broad light of day.
I love both of those voices, Mika. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone.
Is that really true, Ryunosuke?
Yes! All I did was pick up a gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. And I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting.
This is one of those parts that are a bit contrived for me.
I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Bang.
Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies is a clue as to who that criminal was.
There is?
Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses.
Cross-examine?
Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is the time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Suddenly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this...
One of yours.
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Well, you're really gonna just, like, have this trial be open and shut without even giving our boy a chance to speak for himself? That doesn't seem like justice.
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How did you know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, it's irrelevant.
Oh, yeah.
You know, gulp. Kazuma is so commanding. You can be too, Ryunosuke. I believe in you.
Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke.
But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination.
Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements.
How?
You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie.
Well, yes, but...
It's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing it, that is evidence.
Right. Evidence.
Oh, responding to Ashen on YouTube, I have played the majority of the Ace Attorney games, but Moony over here, this is actually his first introduction to the series.
Not this particular play session, but this game, or this game series, you know? The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is where I started, which is both of the Great Ace Attorney adventures together, which is great. 10 really wild cases. I'm on case, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. Or maybe it's 9. Yeah, we just finished 8, so we're on 9 now.
Alright. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness's lie. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you.
Alright then. It's all or nothing.
If you started like 5 days ago, Ashen, you're in for a ride. Let me tell you that. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. A At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniform wasset he carried fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. So...
let's press this statement. By the way, press is one of the options available. It's L1. Press means basically to question a particular statement to get them to elaborate on it, and perhaps we can find out something about what they say, right? Like some detail that might prove that it's true or false or whatever. And in this particular case, I don't know. I don't know whether we shot him in the back. So let's see what he's about.
Yes!
So this black uniformed university cadet, he was saying that was...
I had just about enough of your sauce, kid.
The sauce. That's a funny thing to say.
Around here in a black uniform.
I mean, Kazuma's right over... Was it? Oh, am I just, scared? This guy's just reading my thoughts, man.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
there is someone standing right next to me who fits the description really well, but...
It was you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man. Black, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. What is it, Ryunosuke?
I'm not quite sure.
Responding to Ashton again. Yep, he does look like J. Jonah, and that's exactly why I thought of the voice for him. It's not an exact J. Jonah impression from Spider-Man, but it's close enough, I'd say.
Get me pictures of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Love that guy. Alright, it's something that the surgeon said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind.
In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back.
Ooh, let's do it.
Present the evidence to the court. Trust it in the witness's faith and make him choke on it.
Damn, dude, you're kind of going hard at this, but you know what? Let's do it.
Alright, let's go back to the previous statement.
Do we have any evidence that... There was a picture of the victim, right? Let's take a look at that one. Oh, by the way, in case any new players are out there, those golden, like, star-shaped thingies on the top right side of the screen, they're like lives for you, so if you make the wrong decisions in court, apparently they go away. And I say apparently because only 1 or 2 of them have gone away in my Ace Attorney career so far, so I haven't reached the end yet. But who knows, maybe that'll be a game over and you'll have to start again. The case, I mean, not the whole thing. Regardless, where were we? Let's take a look at this picture.
Shall we take a look, or do you want me to present it?
I think it's important for us to kind of go through the way that the game is played as well, instead of just going to the answers itself. Like, in this picture, it kind of looks like we can inspect it. So how about you inspect the bullet hole, see what they say.
Oh, you can't say anything, it's just magnifying it.
No, it's just to see it a bit more. Okay, well, either way, does that look like shot in the back to you?
No.
I mean, he's sitting on a chair.
And if we go back, it says, if you look at the report, it said the bullet did not pass through the victim's body. So where the bullet wound must be is
On the
where
front.
it entered. Yep.
Yeah. So meaning that this guy's talk about how our friend Naruhodo shot him in the back is total BS.
And we can call it to him by presenting it.
Yes!
All right, Mr. Army Man, let's go.
The court is in dumb silence. Which is a better series of Ace Attorney? I'd say currently I would rank this the highest because it has a lot of new mechanics, which makes it a lot more engaging than the other ones. But as a whole, I actually like the series a lot. So I can't pick one, but I rate this one the highest. What are you playing at? Get it? What is the meaning of this subordination? Wait, wouldn't this be insubordination? Okay, never mind. Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache.
Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here.
Tch, what nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. Come on, Yunosuke, you got this.
It's his first day, so he's a bit nervous.
I think this proves beyond a doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom. This is so frustrating. And yes, Askew, you are right, he does grow into saying hold it and objection and that kind of stuff. This is his first experience lawyering, so he doesn't really have the terminology down yet.
Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. And I'm just gonna take a moment to say... a lot of the Ace Attorney games have that one or a few tracks which are like really, really good, but this game has a lot of tracks which are good. And Kazuma's theme is one of them.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like it really suits him. It's got that justice vibe to it. I really dig it. And speaking of the other themes as well, the cross-examination theme, the tension theme, I really, really like them all.
Yep. Ashton, and thank you for the sub. We're very happy that you find this entertaining, but to be honest, I think it's more the game than us this time.
Oh, please, it's totally us and the game, so it's like a team effort. Kazuma, what?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Wait, don't tell me Aoshi doesn't know. That would be funny.
I feel like he doesn't. Sergeant, yes sir, no sir. Yes sir, what sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes sir, affirmative sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
Yes.
But no, that just can't be.
And why not, get it?
Because...
Oh, hey King, welcome to the stream. Let's continue on.
Because... Come on, you got this.
Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain this?
What? Yo, what the? Huh? Did you see that?
Yep, the first time I saw that, you know, they even hint this by making a baby sound during his speech, but when you see that, it will finally clicks.
What the? Yeah, he saw it too, Ryunosuke, me too, brother. What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again.
I would say that there is even a medieval Edward in this game, yes, Ashen. Certainly. There's clear
Oh my god, I love that character.
The facts.
Oh my god, I love the main prosecutor for this game. I genuinely cannot get enough of him. I sometimes just love doing the cases just to face him because he's just so extra.
Yeah. And you know I use the Edward character as my display picture in a lot of my chat rooms, so we do not agree,
yes.
Sergeant Nosa.
Yes, sir, got no sword.
Sir, at this juncture that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir.
What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yes Sir, No Sir, can't help but laugh at that name, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
That's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Ooh, burned! Oh man, that is good.
Oh wow, you actually attempted to learn. Okay, good job.
Hey, gotta commit. There's been a complete turnabout of mood in this trial from just one discrepancy. Power of Kazuma, my guy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. You heard it here, folks.
But I definitely saw him. That university gazette there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure.
Oh, what?
Treasure?
Mikh'a, it's 9:21 right now. How long are we gonna be streaming for? 2 hours or about 30?
Let's go for 30, right? Because I feel like we shouldn't spoil the game too much for our viewers, like Ashen mentioned over there. So we'll go for 30.
That's a good.
Or we'll find a good place to stop, which I think the next cross-examination is coming up, which might be a good place to stop for us.
Alright, let's give it a go.
Indeed, the Hoera Koban, my prize coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude? Okay, to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rusete.
That can't be a real word, right?
I wonder.
In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you.
On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my hoy treasure. Believe that he would possess such a rare find, I did not. But I was presented with little alternative. And then, there awaited my eyes for the brightest of moments. It was there no more. It simply vanished.
The Koban vanished?
Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded hoy treasure. I feel like I'm sounding like a discount order now.
I think you're doing a great job.
Out of
Well,
interest,
this guy has his priorities straight.
did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious hoy Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself, which he kinda has his suspicions.
Oh, I see. Giving him the side eye there.
As I'm sure everyone present is aware. This case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Auchi?
Very naughty, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled, A tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back.
What a weird statement.
I agree. What the heck?
My witnesses have further testimony to make.
That is the signature ouchie pose. Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he?
We just met. Ugh.
You left a bad impression. Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again.
Yeah, by proving him wrong, huh?
You will thoroughly
Nobody likes
explain
that.
the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as critical glass, Your Excellency. Yeah.
Me and Ika.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Awaiting signal. Excuse me. There's something or someone peeking out from over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido.
I don't know, sir.
Yep, exactly.
No, you can't keep doing this, Ace Attorney. No.
It would seem the straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, shut. Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy.
Aww. So cute.
This is the kind of stuff we play Ace Attorney for, by the way, folks. This sort of witness.
Yes, absolutely. Like, the first time I saw that this guy had a whole secret baby behind his back, like, my mind was blown.
Okay, do we want to call it here? Because I feel like it's almost 30 and this is the second cross-examination.
Alright, if we are gonna call it here, how about we call it at 30? We have about 4 minutes left, so we could take a look at the chats, maybe just talk a little bit about the game.
Sure.
King is here saying, yo, Mikh'a, on Twitch.
Yeah, I said hi to him. King is a friend of mine.
Alright, cool.
And-
Fantastic, thanks for joining by, King.
And a fellow enjoyer of Ace Attorney. He's actually one of the people I played this originally the game with.
A man of culture and taste. Love to see it. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on the stream today. We hope you enjoyed it. Ace Attorney is one of those games that I'd never tried out, but I'd always seen. And once I gave it a try, I felt like, oh man, Emmen Gaming needs to do this. This is so fun, especially when you voice all the characters and whatnot. So it's one of those games I think that would also be really good for Ramadan, which is coming up. So a bunch of people coming together to see how these stories go could be a really fun time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say so, Mikh'a?
I do. It starts off a bit slow for many people, but trust me, if you stick with it, a lot of people enjoy the wackiness and the mystery behind the whole cases.
Absolutely. And these are some really genuinely good mysteries. And one thing that I really like is that a lot of the time, these characters will be saying the kind of stuff that we as players also do think, right? About like, oh, that sounds really weird. Like tonight you saw, I think, Naruhodo basically just voice my thoughts out twice to the point where I'm starting to think, oh boy, is he like my, me as a character? What's happening? It's quite astute. The mysteries are quite good, and there are some really good twists, and you do have enough clues to be able to figure out some of this stuff in advance as well, which is something I really enjoy. I think that should be like a standard for most mystery games, right? You should be able to figure it out with the clues before the game reveals itself to you.
Yeah, and the games are actually pretty generous in teaching you. Like they'll take things step by step, and then it's usually in the final set of cases they'll be like, hands off. It's up to you now. We taught you everything. It's very
Absolutely
player friendly that way.
And in case anybody wanted to pick this game up, it is currently being sold in such a way where you have two of the games, the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, the two games that came out, but they also come together as the thing I kept talking about, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So each game has 5 cases, and the Chronicles version is just those 5 cases together, so a package of 10 along with a few DLCs like visual upgrades or some different character sprites and whatnot. It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
and I think it's a really good time, personally.
And I believe the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, what we're playing right now, is on sale on Steam right now for 20 USD.
Ooh, that's great. That's a really great deal.
If you're looking for the older games, there can actually be, you'll find it on discount a lot of times. So don't be afraid to pick it up if you see it. It's a great time.
I would also like to let you guys know that there is a collection of the older Ace Attorney games. I think the first 3 games, the first trilogy, which is on a lot of platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. I've been meaning to pick that up myself as well. But anyway, Mikh'a, looks like it's the last minute. It's time to say goodbye. You got any closing words?
Well, I think I'll just say my usual line. Here's Mikh'a from the land not on most world maps. Again, signing off. And take care, everyone.
And he's taking me with him. Bye-bye.
Alright, guys. Make sure you stay safe out there. I will be cutting the stream. Good night.
See you next week. Yes, and see you next week, perhaps, for another game and another stream.